speaking of Le Champion, Chris Jericho had another awesome segment. The highlight of the show for me was this segment here. He said that he was contractually obligated to defend his championship one more time in 2019. This is where things start getting interesting.
Right.
So he's contractually obligated to defend his title one more time. And he brought out the list of Jericho. The lexicon of Le Champion, because he can't have a list of Jericho anymore. So now he's got the lexicon of Le Champion, which, as the bibliophile of Busted Wide Open, I particularly appreciated that.
Yes.
And he read off a long list of everyone who he's not going to defend the title against. He said John Moxley a bunch of times as he was reading off the list. But he did not say the two people that came out next, and that was Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt. And at that point, he said, well, it's not on there now, but the list does include dinosaurs and little kids. So you guys ain't getting a title shot either. Anyway, so then Luchasaurus had a little bit of a promo, which is always interesting to see this guy who's enormous and looks like a dinosaur, sounding like a complete and utter college nerd, like the guy that used to debate Nietzsche with while smoking cigarettes over coffee in the coffee shop in college.
Right.
So he said, basically, long story short, Jungle Boy came out, and Jungle Boy challenged Jericho. Jericho said, you couldn't last 10 minutes with me, and he challenged him. December 18th, we're having Jericho versus Jungle Boy. The whole point of this segment was TNT is saying you have to defend your title against somebody. And there was an uproar. Jungle Boy hasn't won a match yet. And a lot of people online were saying, well, what happened to matches counting, and your win-loss record, means you can get title shots. And if you don't have a good win-loss record, you don't get title shots. What happened to that? That's all you're promoting this company on. There's a guy who has not won a match yet. He's getting a title shot. And a lot of people were mad at that. The counter argument, of course, was that's the point. Jericho has to defend his title. And who better to defend? If he can pick who he's going to defend against, who better to defend against than a guy who can't win a match? So totally. That's logical heel work there. In addition, here's the extra twist, is Cody came out within the last, I think, 24 hours and said, we never said it was a title shot, after getting flack for this kind of thing. This is where I was like, Cody, what are you doing? No.
Let this play out, dude.
It's storyline wise, it made sense. Like, just explain it to them. Jericho can pick who he wants. If he wants to pick a loser who hasn't won anything yet, he can. That's the story. The whole point of the story was that it was a title match. He had to have a title match. Don't say it's not a title match now. Whoops. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Now it just completely undid everything that you just outlined.
Right. So now this flip-flopping back and forth, everyone's got to get on the same page here in AEW. Like, it's a little bit of a cluster here right now.
Yeah.
So
now it means less to me than it did when you had a guy that was 0 in everything challenge for the title. That was kind of a perfect setup if you think about it. But people, I think, had that hip shot reaction of what
about
he hasn't won anything. Wins and losses matter. Hang on, guys.
Hashtag my wrestling. Yeah. So hold on. It did make sense, but now Cody responded and said, no, never mind. It's not a title shot. And now it doesn't make sense again.
Yeah. Damn it, Cody.
It doesn't make sense again. Come on. Doesn't make sense to hashtag my wrestling.
Oh, okay.
All right, so whatever. All of that aside,
what is the stipulation for the match now? Is it just if it's not for the championship, then what's the point?
Here's the thing. What's funny is because of what Jericho said, they should make it a Jungle Boy has to last 10 minutes with Le Champion match, and then if he does that, then he gets a title shot. Like, that would be a way to serve all of the masters here, wouldn't it? Say, all right, well, I have to have a title shot by the end of the year. Jungle Boy has the last 10 minutes with me, and then he gets a title shot. And then that way the title shot's in the contract somehow. Way you could explain it all, right?
You know what? So they're so new. There's something I've always wanted to introduce, and it's like kind of like in the G1. If you pin a champion,
you get a
title shot at some point regardless, right?
Exactly.
I think that would be a brilliant thing to institute in AEW. So you could have someone like Jungle Boy that's got 0 in everything, as a win-loss record, but somehow he gets one over, whether it's a cheating angle, or Luchasaurus gets involved or something, he still pins Jericho in a non-title match, he gets a legitimate title shot at that
Just
point.
happened with Scorpio Sky, right?
Exactly.
Scorpio Sky pins him in a tag match, and now he gets a shot at Le Champion. Because
Make that a thing. Make that part of your codex of AEW.
And you can have that add into storylines in tag matches where, guys are out there sacrificing themselves so that from the inner circle, so that Jericho doesn't get pinned. Because if he gets pinned, someone gets a title shot.
Right.
So that could be a whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Could be fun.
Make it happen, Sir Rhodes.